All right, so we're going to start talking about chapter 3, which is the logic section. And again, this is just kind of my take on a few things to kind of help you out. But first of all, a statement has to be true or false. Okay, so it has to be one or the other. So for example, if I say, I own a horse, that's either true or false. I do not own a horse, so it's false. It can't be an opinion like, these are the best fajitas I've ever had, because an opinion, how do you say that's true or false? So, it can't be an opinion. The other thing it can't be would be like an exclamation, like, wow, right? Like, how do you say wow is true or false, right? So things like that, they are not statements. It has to be something that is either true or false, okay? One or the other. So, if P, the statement P is, it is 80 degrees Fahrenheit in Ankeny, right? That's a statement because it can be true or false, okay? So this could be true or false. Yep, so we're good, all right? Obviously, when I'm taping this video right now, it's like 90-some degrees outside. So that would be a false statement, but, it is what it is. The negation is when we put the little kind of tilde thing in front of there, okay? And again, it should kind of remind you of like with sets. With set, we have set A, right? So maybe set A is, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's in a bigger universal set of maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? So A might be that. But then remember, not A would mean I cancel off everything A. So 5, 6 is not A. So this should kind of remind you of that. So if P is, it is 80 degrees Fahrenheit in Ankeny, then the negation is, it is not 80 degrees Fahrenheit in Ankeny. So I'm just taking that statement and I'm doing the negation of it. Okay, so like this is set A, this is not set A. This is statement P, this is the not or the negation of statement P. And again, this could be true or false, okay? So it is not, which is true because it's in the 90s. And notice if you have a true statement, one of these is true, one of these are false. If these can both be true or both be false, you do not have a statement. So if your statement's false, the negation has to be true. If your statement's true, the negation has to be false, okay? That's just kind of how it works, okay? So if P is true, then not P has to be false. And if P is false, right, then not P is true, okay? And that's kind of a good test to see if you really do have a statement. Okay, now, I emailed this out to my students that are online, but this guy right here is helpful for all or none. Because sometimes students have this, I don't know, they want to just stick the not in it. So our easy one's like, it's raining outside. The negation is, it is not raining outside. Those are all great and dandy. But happen if I say something like P is all professors teach math. All right. So sometimes students want to do the negation and they want to negate all to none. Okay, but let's think of that. All professors teach math. Is that true or false? Well, we know that's false, right? Not all teachers teach math. So if I change it to no professors teach math. So if I go from all to none, no professors teach math. Everyone okay? That's false too. So when you have all or some or none, you cannot negate because remember, if one of them's false, the other one has to be true. So if all professors teach math is false, how am I going to negate that, right? And that gets a little tricky. So that's where this chart is going to come in super handy. So if I have all, okay, all professors teach math, the negation is that some professors do not teach math, okay? So some professors do not teach math. Okay, let's see how that happens. Okay, all teachers, we know that's false. Some professors, that's professors, some professors do not teach math. That's true, right? I have colleagues that teach other subjects. So you got to be a little, little careful on those. All right, let's try another one. Say P is some people are arrogant. All right, so we have some people that are arrogant, unfortunately. All right, so how do I negate some? Some people are arrogant. The negation would be no people. So negation of P would be no people are arrogant. Okay, now let's do our test of true and false. Some people are arrogant. I would say that's true. All right, no people are arrogant. I would say that's false. So again, remember, one of these can be true. The other one has to be false if you wrote the negation right. But for your test, I would print this out and have that handy with your cheat sheet, just because then you can look, say, ooh, all goes to some are not. If I say none of the jobs had a salary that I wanted, I could say the negation, some of the jobs had a salary that I wanted. So you can kind of go back and forth here, which is super helpful. So make sure you can do that. All right, so that's kind of there. So in section 3.2, and again, I gave you an email with a handout that has a bunch of symbols and vocab in there. So you can look at those as far as statements and exclamation-y type statements, things like that. All right, so in 3.2, we talk about and or. So and or problems, okay? And looks like a, kind of like an A without the middle, right? And so this would be like P and Q. So whatever statement P is and Q, okay? And then this guy is an upside down V looking thing. So this would be P or Q. And this should remind you again of sets. So remember when we did set, right? When we wanted the intersection of A and B, we wanted this. And remember, this looks like an A. Guess what? So does that guy. That's an and. And remember, ands are hard because both things have to happen. So with statements, if we're going to say if this is true or false, they both would have to be true. Okay? Because it's an and. I'm saying this and that. Or should remind you with sets of the union, kind of the curvy guy, right? Okay. And remember, ors are easier. Because remember with sets, we had A and B, so it could be A only, B only, or where they both, meet. It could be his, hers, theirs, theirs, whatever, everybody, okay? And so or is kind of easy. So on an or, maybe only one of them has to be true. And this is when we're going to get into a truth table. So and, remember, it's kind of hard to tell the truth. And here it's easier because only part of it, you're not saying it's all true. You're just saying one or the other is going to happen or one of the other is going to be true. All right, so we're going to do a truth table. And the way these work is you have P and Q. And usually we start them all the same. So it's like true, 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 false, false, true, and what? False, false. Those are the outcomes, right? Either these are both true, either one's true or the other one's true, or they're both false, okay? And I'm going to say that in middle school, I told my parents, okay, and I'm going to say P is that I was going to a movie, and Q is that we were going to hang out with my friend Audra. Okay, all right. So, so that's what I told. So P is the statement, hey, I'm going to go to a movie. Q is I'm going to hang out with Audra. All right, so there we go. Okay, and basically what you want to ask yourself is, are you telling the truth or am I telling a lie? Okay, because this is what a truth table tells you. All right, so we are going to do the truth table. So we have all the possibilities of how this could play out. And let's do an or first. So it's going to look like this. And remember the A looks like, this symbol looks like an A, which is and. So this is an or. And remember on ors, it's easier to tell the truth because only part of it has to be true for the whole thing to be true. All right, so let's look. So this is true and true. So did I go to the movie? Yeah. True. Did I hang out with Audrey? Yes. So did I tell my parents the truth? I told my parents I was going to go to a movie or, this is an or, hang out with Audra. I actually did both. So did I tell my parents the truth? Yes, I did. I did not lie. Here, only P is true. So I did go to a movie. False, I did not hang out with Audra. Okay. So I told my parents what? I'm going to go to a movie or hang out with Audra. Did I tell them the truth? Yes. And the reason is because I didn't lie, because I said I was going to do one or the other. Here I happened to do both. I was extra, but here I still didn't lie because I said I was going to go to a movie or hang out with Audra, and I went to the movie, so I told the truth. Here I did not go to the movie, but I still hung out with Audra, so I told the truth because, again, I said or. I'm going to go to a movie or hang out with Audra, so I still told the truth. Here, I did not go to the movie. I skipped the movie, and I did not hang out with my friend Audra. So I told my parents, hey, I'm going to go to a movie or hang out with Audra, and I didn't do either one of those. So I lied to my parents. Everyone, okay, that is false. This is called a truth table. Okay, now I could do the same process. So I'm going to do true, true, false, false. So I could have true, true here, true, false, false, true, and false, false. Those are the 4 possibilities that could happen. All right, now this time we're going to do P and Q. And is harder to tell the truth because I'm adding a lot of requirements. So again, still going to the movie, still hanging out with Audra. But this time I told my parents that I'm going to the movie and I'm going to hang out with Audra, both. So here, did I go to the movie? True. Yes, I did. Did I hang out with Audra? Yes, I did. So I told my parents the truth. T stands for true. All right, next one. True. Did I go to the movie? Yes, I did. That's true. Q. Did I hang out with Audra? No. That's false. I did not do it. So when I told my parents, hey, I'm going to go to a movie and hang out with Audra, I lied because I only went to the movie. I did not hang out with Audra. So that's false. Okay, here. Did I go to the movie? False. So I told my parents, hey, I'm going to go to a movie and hang out with Audra. I hung out with Audra, but I did not go to the movie. So I lied to my parents. So that's false. The last one, I didn't go to the movie. I did not hang out with Audra. I lied. Okay. So on the and, everything has to be true. Here on an or, only one, because you're saying either or. Okay. Again, think about like buying a house, right? If you want to buy a house that is like in Ankeny, under 150K, maybe 4 bedrooms, maybe 2 bath. Maybe you want a 3-car garage. Okay, you have kind of your dream list, right? Maybe you want it to be a ranch or a 2-story, whatever. If I put an and in there, in Ankeny, and under 150K, and 4 bedrooms, and 2 baths, and a 3-car garage, and a ranch, isn't okay? That's going to be hard to find, right? So it's hard for that to actually happen. So it's hard to get a true on that. Does that make sense? And or if I say in Ankeny or under 150K or 4 bedrooms or 2 bath or a 3-car garage or a ranch, ors are easier to find, right? Because it just has to meet one of the requirements to be true. It doesn't have to meet all of them. Okay. So again, it's easier to get trues on ors because only part of it has to be true, and everything has to be true to be true. So that becomes a problem. Okay. All right, how much time do we have? All right, let's try to do one that has some order of op. I don't know if we'll have time to finish it, but we'll see. So I could do something like this and like that. Okay, so how you're going to do this is you are going to make a truth table to start. So I have P and Q. And again, true, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. Those are my options. And then what you do is kind of like order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we need this. We have those. Let's do not Q because I need not Q to do the problem. So I'm going to do not Q. All right. So not Q. All right. If Q is true, then not true must be false. If Q is false, the not one should be true because remember, they have to be true or false. So if this is true, the negation is false. If this is false, the negation's true. If the original's true, the negation's false. And if the original's false, the negation's true. Because this is a not Q. All right. And then from there, we know P, this is an or. And remember, or is easy. All right. Because only one of them has to be true. So this is true. This is true. This is true. These are both lies. So the or situation is there. And then I'm going to combine both of these. So what do I have? P dot Q dot dot. Now this is an and, which makes it harder to tell the truth. So I'm going to combine these. And I would lie, tell the truth, I would lie, I would lie. Because remember, you need 2 truths to be telling the truth on an and. Part truths on and do not count. You are still lying. And this is how we can kind of do a truth table.